The future of next month's Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Brisbane is hanging in the balance following the tragedy in the US. Premier Peter Beattie is taking a tough line, suggesting cancelling the conference will hand a victory to terrorists. But the final decision rests with the Prime Minister.
As a heavily reinforced police motorcade practiced for the October meeting, Premier Beattie was meeting the Commissioner and CHOGM organisers. They pondered the very real prospects of CHOGM attracting terrorism to Brisbane.
If we were to say today that we weren't prepared to host CHOGM, then the terrorists and the murderers win.
Commissioner Bob Atkinson admitted the US attacks have heightened his concerns.
I think it makes us all more aware of what potentially can happen.
Without elaborating, he hinted security has already gone up a notch.
We have the full support of other agencies, including the Australian Defence Forces, the Australian Federal Police, ASIO, the Protective Security Coordination Centre, and other federal government agencies as well.
The updated security measures drew howls of protest from the anti-CHOGM group.
Certainly from some of the comments that have been made by Peter Beattie about the need to increase security measures and repression and so on around CHOGM does concern us.
They accuse the Premier of using the US tragedy for his own agenda, while offering the effects of globalisation in Iraq and Afghanistan as a reason for the American attacks.
I think that possibly what's happened is that people who have suffered as a consequence of those sorts of policies, basically to back up oil profits in the Middle East, that you've got people who have reacted to get.
Mr Beattie says the added security will be a burden for everyone, and it doesn't come with any guarantees.
I can't give any guarantees about absolute guarantees, but what I can say to the people of Queensland is that we have all the appropriate measures in place.
Mr Beattie says he remains 100% committed to CHOGM. However, the final decision rests with the Prime Minister and the Commonwealth Heads of Government. If Mr Howard decides to scrap CHOGM, Mr Beattie says he will support him. Arrangements for CHOGM are proceeding. In Brisbane this evening, the 650 volunteers are receiving their uniforms. Steve Marshall, National 9 News.